Senator Moody.
Thank you. Thank you, ministers, and thank you, Dr. Tam. A report commissioned by the federal government after the SARS crisis found that there was no national database tracking cases and weak mechanisms for data sharing with the provinces. During this COVID-19 pandemic, Canadians expect an extraordinary effort to be in place for data collection, transparency, and sharing among their governments. Data management and standardization across the country is crucial. Minister, how centralized is the epidemiologic tracking of cases? Might you please explain how the federal and provincial governments are sharing and communicating their data, and is the federal government leading this highly important process?
Well, thank you very much, Senator, and you're absolutely right. Data, and in particular granular data, helps us track the disease across our country and determine what measures need to be taken in a more precise way that could actually help us, alleviate some of the economic crisis that we're seeing. The challenge I think that we have, and quite frankly, is that there are varying degrees of data transparency from provinces and territories. Some of that is capacity, and Health Canada has stepped up to offer support, including human resource support, to be embedded within those provinces and territories that are struggling to provide the level of data that helps Public Health Agency of Canada track and model the disease and determine the best next steps. I will turn to Dr. Tam, however, because this is an issue she's been working on diligently through her Special Advisory Committee with the Chief Public Health Officers of the provinces and territories.
Thank you for that question. Absolutely, it is one of the most important things we're doing together with the province and territories. Every Chief Medical Officer of Health are seized with the collection of data. They are sharing everything that they can possibly get as fast as possible. But we all do know that the public health system is flat out with everybody working on the front lines. It's not a want of trying. Everybody is trying really hard. And I think you will see the data getting out there even faster. What you have seen is that chief medical officers all across the countries have been providing information every day to the public, every case that they've heard about. What we are trying to do, though, is to collect some more detailed information on those cases in order for us to look at if our actions have impacted the epidemic. So that is absolutely ongoing, and we're accelerating. I just have to preface the fact that Canada is a vast country. We do have to look at the epidemiology separately in different locations. The national aggregated data does not give you the level of details as to what's happening in British Columbia or in Alberta or in Ontario. And so you do actually have to have subnational data, and provinces are beginning to do that on their own websites as well, and we just pull it all together. But you do need, there are different characteristics of outbreaks in different areas of Canada, and these are being now described.
How is our country dealing with the actual definition of cases, given that many stay at home with mild symptoms and are never tested? So from an epidemiologic vantage, identifying actual cases is an important one to understanding both incidence and spread. And if I might just follow that up briefly, has Health Canada or the Public Health Agency looked into how other countries have set up mechanisms of sharing data with their citizens? I believe there are now about 10 countries, including South Korea, Singapore, Belgium, Italy, Germany, using cell phone data for tracking cases and contacts. Of course, some are more intrusive with actual personal data, but some is just aggregated location and movement data for communities. Has Canada considered this approach?
I'll start and again turn to Dr. Tam for some granular answers on your question. In terms of comparisons with other countries, absolutely, that work is happening. And we are looking at comparator countries in terms of what they're doing to both manage the outbreak and also figure a way, as I say often, out of this. It is challenging. I mean, it feels like we've had this problem here in Canada for a year, but it's really, this virus has only been with us as a species for 3 months. And so various countries have been using various methods to try and understand their epidemiology and their path out of the situation, barring the development of a vaccine or a treatment. Dr. Tam has been doing an amazing job with her colleagues in terms of accelerating our testing capacity. In fact, the numbers she gave me were almost 20,000 tests yesterday that were conducted. So we are approaching the rate of South Korea's testing.
I have to
cut me off.
move for